Hi, my name is Aaron Holzer. I'm from MacQueen. I'm one of the product trainers here. I am going to go over today the Envirosight push camera, the Ultra, the tablet-based system. We'll go through it and show the functionality and the operations of it, of actually shooting it down a tube. All right, so what we're going to do today is we are going to get the application set up here. So it's down in this bottom corner here. Once we get to this screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the power button in the back here. Press and hold for about 2 seconds till it starts to illuminate blue. Then what it'll do is it'll turn the camera system on, and then it'll be able to start to link up into the application here. What we'll do, there's two selections from here for the camera system. For us, we'll always want to hit the Verisight, the VSU button, and then we'll go to control mode. Once we go into control mode, it'll take a second here to get the connecting done. What we'll do is we will want to hit join here because it is a Wi-Fi connection setup. Not Bluetooth, but is Wi-Fi, so you're able to have some distance between the tablet and the camera system itself. As you can see here, the camera is on, up and running. Here is kind of where we will start to be able to do measurements. We can start doing a video and get everything going on a project. All right, so now we have the camera out of the reel. As you can see here on the screen, we are sitting out, kind of shooting down that pipe, or looking at that pipe here. Here's where we will be able to start a new project. We can go into start a new project, project management, and check our measurements, and also disconnect. Up top here is where we'd be able to zoom in and zoom back out. So say if we are zoomed in really far and we want to just quickly zoom back, we can hit the magnifying glass and it'll bring us right back to 0. Down below that is to be able to turn the camera light on. Once we are actually in the pipe, we'll actually be able to see how well that camera light works. Up above that here is the locator frequency. This camera system does have 3 frequencies. You can click on here. It has 512, 640, and 33 hertz. And up above that then is your pressure. You know how many millibars are in here. Usually we would have between 500 to 700 millibars in here. And then above that here is our distance. Once I actually get the camera in the pipe, then I'll show you how we can adjust our distances. So once we're in the pipe, we know exactly how far we've actually run the camera. So one of the things that the Ultra has now is it has 2 centralizers here, front and back. So say if you're out 60, 70 feet, instead of having the camera sit like this, you have it sitting level now when you're running down the pipe. So there are 2 collars here that we would use that you'd be able to loosen up and be able to take on, take on and put off. Be able to get them snug. So this setup here is for, I believe, a 4-inch pipe, and then you also have the collar here for the front one. This one is just a little bit different. Of course, it's a hole style, and then it's got a spot just for the camera to sit through, and then you've got the locking clamp on the back side. Just get that a little snug. You don't have to go super tight on it. So one of the features about the Ultra here is its grip, is its brake grip here for us. We're able to kind of loosen up the cable, and then we can take it and slide it right in here, and then tighten it up so the brake itself is holding it and not going to unravel for us. Then once we actually have it in here, I'll be able to go into the screen here and show you our distances. We can do the overall and then just the section of footage that we are actually in the pipe. We've got the camera sitting right at the edge of the pipe here. So now we have our total distance here, up here, and then we have our section distance. What we would do is go into our section distance here and type in 0 and then hit apply. So now we know what our overall distance versus what we are actually doing in the pipe. So if we want, we can then release some of the cable in here, and then we can go in and say we need to go in about 10 feet, 8 feet, however 6 feet. We can go in and then stop it, and we can see we've only gone in a little over 6 feet. With this being shown here, now we can actually show some of our camera You can see the illumination here. It'll do a little bit of auto adjusting if it's too bright, and it'll adjust for us to give us the best clarity of that camera. It is actually a self-leveling camera. There is an option for a pan and tilt, but not a lot of people want to go with that just because of the cost. But the abilities of this camera, with it being HD and auto leveling, is a fantastic setup. And then here we can actually start to zoom in, and then we can zoom back out, or we can just do a quick back to it. Here, once we're in, say we're in the pipe and we're ready to start a project, you can just, everything is this all touch screen, or you can use this tab here. You can type in create project. Here I can just type in MacQueen, MacQueen. Oh. And then hit create. Now now we have a created project here, we'll go down to this bottom right corner where you can start your recording. You can stop it, and then if you want, you can go back and play it. So here, if we really want, what I'll do is I'll bring our camera back, and then I will do one quick video of us shooting all the way down the line. So now we're at the very beginning of it. We have our light turned up, and what I'll do is then I will hit the record button. So now we are recording. It shows right up here the illumination. We are 3 seconds, 4 seconds in, and it's going. So what we'll do is we'll loosen this up, and we'll start pushing down the line. And then it shows also on the screen at the very bottom here how many feet we are actually out down the line here for us. So right now here, I'll do about say 7 feet. I'll tighten it up so it doesn't go any further. And then what we can do here is we can pause it. So now I pause the camera. Anything, say if we're looking in this pipe here and we see any types of cracks, we can go into crack width, we can clock our measurements. Here we can also check our water level. So say if we're in flow, we can show our flow. If our camera is off a little bit and say a little bit of a larger pipe, we can actually adjust the screen here or the circle for our water level. We can do it, and we can do it side to side and up and down. And say if there is something going on, we can also go in and actually take a photo of, say, a crack or an obstruction. Here we can go into free text. So say if we run into something and we see a protruding tap, we can type in there, say, a protruding tap. And then anything right in here, we can just, as we're going down, say we see something, we're not 100% sure, we want to look at it a little bit later, we can go in and hit take photo. It'll just automatically take a photo of that screen here for us. And then we got our distance counter. So say if we get so far we want to remeasure another section, we can go in and just reset our distance, but we'll still have our overall footage for us. So say we've finished our project. Now we can go in on what we had labeled as MacQueen. What we'll do here is we'll scroll down to the bottom here, and here, project name, MacQueen. I'll click on it. Here's where we can open the project, we can edit the project, and we can also export the project. You'll click export, and we can send it by email, we can do it by text message, we can even airdrop it, we can make a copy, or we can save it to a files and then be able to open it up and put it on a thumb drive. With that, then once we've sent it to someone, we can still go back. We can still go back and adjust anything that is needed in here. It'll also be saved on that app and then sent to wherever we want to send it to, a customer, to ourselves, via text message. So there's a lot of different variations of what we can do for getting it all set up here for us. Here is where now I am in the file for all of our videos or all of our files. What I'll do is I'll click on MacQueen here. I'll hit open project. And then here is where I've taken any of the photos or any of the videos while I've been in the pipe. I'll click on here. Then I would click down here to be able to watch the video. Here's where be able to show or re-show to a customer, to a client, of anyone, showing them of their, say there's a section of pipe that we want to zoom into. We can do that. We can, as you can see here, I'm going in about 7 feet. And then say if there's an issue, I could then pause it, show them that there's a protruding tap of any sorts that is going on.